The aliens' plan General Zarg, the commander of the alien forces, stood in the control room of his massive spaceship. The room was filled with alien officers, each one eager to hear the latest plans. Zarg's reputation was built on fear and domination, and today was no different. His eyes glinted with a cold fire as he prepared to address his team. "Listen up!" Zarg's voice boomed through the room, causing every alien to straighten up. "We are about to execute Operation Doom. This will be the final blow to the humans on Earth." A murmur of excitement rippled through the officers. They were familiar with Zarg's plans and knew they were always ruthless. But this time it was different. Zarg had promised something special, a beast of unimaginable power. Zarg moved to a large screen at the front of the room. The screen flickered on, revealing an image of a terrifying creature. It was enormous, with sharp claws and glowing red eyes. Its scales were like armor, and it had a roar that could shake planets. The officers gasped in awe. This was no ordinary beast. It was designed to strike fear into the hearts of their enemies. "This beast," Zarg continued, pointing at the screen, "is our ultimate weapon. It will crush the humans and make them bow before us. We have trained it to be the most powerful creature in the galaxy. Its roar will paralyze them with terror." One of the officers, Lieutenant Kor, raised a hand. "General, how do you know it will work? The humans are known for their strange courage." Zarg's eyes narrowed. "The humans may be brave, but they have never faced anything like this. Our beast will show them what true fear is. The moment it appears, their will to fight will crumble." The officers nodded, convinced by Zarg's confidence. They had seen his plans succeed before and had no reason to doubt him now. However, there was a hint of nervousness in the air. The beast was indeed formidable, but so were the humans. Meanwhile, on Earth, the humans were busy with their own preparations. The United Earth Defense Command had received reports about the aliens' new weapon. The intelligence officers had been puzzled by the details. The alien beast sounded terrifying, but the humans had faced worse before. They were determined to be ready. In a secure meeting room, General Harris and his top advisors gathered around a table. A large screen displayed the same image of the beast that had been shown to Zarg's officers. The beast's menacing appearance was enough to make anyone worried, but Harris was not easily frightened. "Well," Harris said, studying the image, "it looks like they're sending their best, but we've faced worse. We need to figure out how to handle this." Captain Laura, a seasoned soldier, spoke up. "We should not underestimate this creature, but we also shouldn't panic. We have technology and tactics that have worked against tougher enemies." Harris nodded. "Agreed. Let's prepare our defenses and keep a close watch on their movements. If this beast is as powerful as they claim, we'll need to be ready for anything." As the humans made their plans, Zarg's spaceship moved closer to Earth. The alien commander was confident, but there was something he hadn't accounted for. The beast, despite its fearsome design, was not as straightforward as it seemed. It had been specially engineered to induce fear, but there were rumors among Zarg's ranks that not everyone was fully on board with his plan. Back on the alien ship, Zarg reviewed the final preparations for the beast's deployment. The creature was secured in a massive containment unit, and the alien soldiers stood ready. Zarg was eager to see the humans' reaction. He knew that the beast's fearsome appearance was only part of the plan. The real power lay in how it would demoralize and scatter the human forces. The hours ticked by as the alien ship approached Earth. General Zarg paced the command center, his anticipation growing. He envisioned the chaos and terror that would soon engulf the human defenses. The beast was ready to unleash, and Zarg was confident it would be the turning point in their war against humanity. As the alien ship neared the atmosphere, the countdown to deployment began. The beast's containment unit was prepared for release, and Zarg's officers took their positions. The plan was set into motion, and the beast would soon be unleashed on the unsuspecting humans. On Earth, the humans continued their preparations. They were ready for the alien threat, but had no idea what was coming. The sight of the beast would be their first real test. Little did they know, the beast might not be the terrifying force they had been led to believe. The stage was set for a clash of wills, with General Zarg's beast poised to make its debut. The fate of the battle would soon be decided, and the world watched as the alien threat moved closer to Earth. The beast unleashed. The alien spaceship hovered above Earth, its massive form casting a shadow over the city below. General Zarg stood at the control room window, his gaze fixed on the blue planet. The time had come for the beast to make its grand entrance. In the containment chamber of the ship, the beast roared with anticipation. Its powerful growls reverberated through the metal walls, shaking the very core of the spaceship. Zarg's officers watched with bated breath as the final preparations were made. The containment unit was opened, and the beast was released into a large drop pod designed to deliver it to the surface. "Prepare for launch," Zarg commanded, his voice filled with excitement. "The beast will soon be among the humans. Let's show them what true fear looks like." The drop pod carrying the beast began its descent towards Earth. As it entered the atmosphere, a trail of fire followed it. The beast inside stirred, its growls growing louder. The alien soldiers monitored the pod's progress, eager to see the chaos unfold. On Earth, the sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the city. General Harris and his team were in the command center, still reviewing their defensive strategies. The news of the beast's arrival had reached them, and they were on high alert. "Everyone, stay sharp," Harris instructed. "We don't know exactly when or where the beast will land. Be prepared for anything." Suddenly, a bright flash appeared in the sky. The drop pod had broken through the atmosphere and was heading towards the designated drop zone. The humans' radars detected the pod, and an alarm went off in the command center. "There it is," Captain Laura shouted, pointing at the screen. "The pod is coming in hot." The pod crashed into an open area on the outskirts of the city, sending up a cloud of dust and debris. As the dust settled, the massive doors of the pod slowly opened. The beast emerged, its enormous form towering over everything. Its scales glittered in the fading light, and its eyes glowed with a fierce red. The ground trembled with each step it took. The humans who had gathered to witness the arrival stared in awe and fear. The beast roared, a bone-chilling sound that echoed through the city. Buildings shook and windows shattered. The sight was as terrifying as General Zarg had promised. General Harris and his team watched the scene unfold on their monitors. "Deploy the drones," he ordered. "We need to gather information and assess the situation." Drones flew out from the command center, buzzing around the beast. They captured images and videos, sending the data back to the base. The humans quickly began analyzing the information. "Looks like it's as dangerous as they said," Laura said, her eyes glued to the screen. "We need to come up with a plan, and fast." Meanwhile, Zarg and his officers observed the situation from their spaceship. The alien commander was pleased to see the chaos his beast had caused. "Excellent," he said with a sinister smile. "The humans are already on edge. Now let's see how they handle this." As the beast rampaged through the city, its roars continued to strike fear into the hearts of the people. Emergency services scrambled to respond, trying to protect civilians and minimize damage. The beast's path of destruction was evident, and the city was in turmoil. However, as the hours passed, something unusual began to happen. The humans, while frightened, did not seem to be breaking down as Zarg had expected. Instead, they were rallying together, quickly organizing their response. Private Jake, a young soldier stationed near the city's edge, had a different reaction to the beast. As he saw the creature up close, he couldn't help but notice something odd about it. Despite its terrifying appearance, there was something almost endearing about the beast's clumsy movements and confused behavior. Jake whispered to his fellow soldiers, "You know, for a beast that's supposed to scare us, it kind of looks like a big, confused puppy." His comment brought a few nervous laughs among the soldiers. They began to see the beast in a new light. Instead of focusing on its fearsome features, they started to view it as an oversized, awkward creature struggling to find its way. Back at the command center, the human team was busy developing countermeasures. They decided to use non-lethal methods to subdue the beast, hoping to minimize damage while neutralizing the threat. As the night wore on, the beast continued its rampage. But the humans' efforts to contain it began to show results. The beast, still roaring and growling, seemed less effective in spreading fear. It was more of a confused and chaotic presence than the terrifying weapon Zarg had hoped for. General Zarg watched with growing frustration. His plan was not going as expected. The humans were adapting and countering the beast's attacks with surprising resilience. The beast's reputation for causing terror was fading fast. Despite the damage and chaos, the beast's rampage was also starting to reveal its less threatening side. The unexpected reaction from the humans, finding humor and a sense of camaraderie in the face of danger, was not something Zarg had anticipated. As dawn approached, the beast's initial impact began to wane. The humans were regrouping and preparing to launch their counteroffensive. The scene was shifting from one of terror to one of strategic response. The alien commander's confidence was beginning to crack. The battle was far from over, but the initial shock of the beast's arrival had already begun to fade. Zarg's plans were facing a new, unexpected challenge, and the humans were proving to be more resilient than he had imagined. A surprise encounter. The city was still reeling from the earlier chaos as dawn broke. The beast, having caused considerable damage through its rampage, was now wandering in a confused manner. Its roars had lessened, and it seemed to be growing weary. The once feared creature was now simply a large, disoriented presence in the city. Private Jake, who had been stationed near the beast's path, watched from behind cover. His squad was prepared for anything, but Jake had noticed something odd about the creature. Instead of being terrified, he found himself feeling a strange sense of pity for the beast. As he peered through his binoculars, Jake couldn't help but notice how clumsy the beast appeared. It stumbled over its own feet, occasionally bumping into buildings. Its massive, fearsome appearance seemed less intimidating when seen up close. Jake chuckled to himself. For a creature that's supposed to be so scary, it's more like a giant puppy. Jake's comment was not just idle chatter. His fellow soldiers had begun to share his perspective. They had started to see the beast as more of a nuisance than a true threat. They couldn't ignore the damage it had caused, but they also couldn't help but see the comical side of its behavior. Meanwhile, General Harris and his team were monitoring the situation from their command center. They had been impressed by how quickly the human forces had adapted. The beast, once a symbol of terror, was now facing a different kind of resistance. Harris turned to Captain Laura, who was studying the latest reports. "Laura, what's the status of the containment teams?" Harris asked. "Teams are in position and ready to move," Laura replied. "We've developed a plan to use tranquilizer darts and nets. We'll try to subdue the beast without causing it further stress or damage." Harris nodded. "Good. Let's move forward with the plan. If the beast is as confused as it seems, this might actually work." As the containment teams moved into position, they prepared their equipment. The tranquilizer darts were designed to knock out the beast without harming it, and the nets were intended to restrain it. The teams approached cautiously, mindful of the creature's size and strength. Jake and his squad were among the first to encounter the beast up close. They had been assigned to flank it and create a distraction. Jake, with his usual humor, made a small joke to his comrades. "Hey, everyone! Let's not make this too easy for our big, cuddly friend," he said with a grin. "We wouldn't want it to think we're all just scaredy cats." The soldiers laughed, their nerves eased by Jake's lightheartedness. As they moved closer, they saw the beast trying to paw at a large piece of debris it had inadvertently caused. It was a comical sight, a giant, fearsome beast struggling with a piece of rubble like a kitten with a toy. The containment teams took their positions. One group was ready with tranquilizer darts, while another prepared the nets. They waited for the right moment to strike, hoping the beast's confusion would make it easier to subdue. Jake signaled to his squad. "All right, let's create a diversion and get its attention. We need to draw it away from the containment teams." The soldiers moved into action, making noise and using flashbangs to attract the beast's attention. The creature turned its massive head towards the commotion, its glowing eyes focusing on the soldiers. It roared, but this time, there was a hint of curiosity in its sound rather than pure aggression. The containment teams seized the opportunity. The first tranquilizer dart hit the beast and it roared again, shaking its head. But the drug quickly took effect. Despite its size and strength, the beast's reaction was more bewildered than violent. It tried to shake off the effects of the tranquilizer, but soon began to grow sluggish. The nets were thrown over it, and with a final, confused roar, the beast was subdued. The soldiers approached cautiously, making sure the beast was fully restrained and safe. Jake, still observing, noticed something strange. The beast, now subdued and covered in nets, looked almost pitiful. Its fierce appearance was diminished, and it seemed more like a large, frightened animal than a fearsome weapon. The containment teams carefully checked the beast's condition, ensuring it was not in distress. Harris, watching from the command center, was relieved to see the operation had gone smoothly. The beast, though still imposing, was now under control. Jake walked up to the restrained beast, examining it more closely. He couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy. "Well, aren't you just a big, clumsy mess?" he muttered, shaking his head. "Not quite the monster we were expecting." His comment was met with chuckles from his fellow soldiers. They gathered around, sharing their thoughts on the creature's unexpectedly non-threatening behavior. The beast's initial fearsome image had given way to a more humorous and less intimidating reality. Back at the command center, Harris and his team began to assess the next steps. The beast had been captured without further damage or chaos. The general's initial fears of a devastating weapon had turned into a lesson in resilience and adaptability. As the containment teams prepared to transport the beast for further examination, the humans could take a moment to reflect on their surprising encounter. What had been intended as a symbol of terror had become a source of unexpected amusement and curiosity. The battle was far from over, but the beast's subdued state had shifted the dynamic. The humans had faced the unexpected with courage and humor, proving that even the most fearsome threats could be met with resilience and a touch of lightheartedness. Human strategy. The command center was a hive of activity as the sun rose over the city. The capture of the beast had been a surprising success, but General Harris and his team knew that the real challenge was still ahead. They needed a strategy to ensure the alien forces did not use another similar weapon and to understand why their initial plans had failed. General Harris stood at the head of the conference table, surrounded by his top advisors and military strategists. The subdued beast was being held in a secure facility, and the general had called this meeting to reassess their approach. "All right, everyone," Harris said firmly. "We've successfully captured the beast, but we need to use this opportunity wisely. We must figure out how to prevent future threats and learn from this experience." Captain Laura, who had been leading the containment teams, spoke first. "The beast was not as dangerous as we feared. It was more confused than threatening. We need to consider that the aliens might have underestimated us or miscalculated the effectiveness of their weapon." Harris nodded. "Exactly. We must be prepared for anything. Let's discuss our next steps. I want a thorough analysis of the beast, understand its weaknesses and strengths, and see if there's anything we can learn about the aliens' tactics from this." Dr. Patel, a leading scientist in the team, spoke up. "I'll head up the analysis team. We'll study the beast's biology and behavior. There might be clues about why it was so ineffective in causing fear." The general agreed. "Good. While you're working on that, we need to address the possibility of future attacks. We should enhance our defenses and ensure we're ready for more advanced alien weaponry." Lieutenant Kaur, an expert in alien technology, added, "We should also consider the possibility that the aliens might try something different next time. We need to improve our early warning systems and develop countermeasures for a variety of threats." As the team discussed their strategies, Private Jake, who had been instrumental in the capture of the beast, provided his perspective. "From what I saw, the beast wasn't as fearsome as it looked. It was disoriented and confused. Maybe the aliens are not as invincible as they seem. If we can find a way to exploit their overconfidence, we might have an advantage." Harris looked at Jake with interest. "That's a good point. If the aliens are underestimating us, we should use that to our advantage. We need to be unpredictable and adapt quickly." The team continued to brainstorm, developing a plan to enhance their defenses and prepare for potential new threats. They worked on upgrading their technology, improving their surveillance systems, and creating more advanced training scenarios for their soldiers. Meanwhile, Dr. Patel and her team began their analysis of the beast. They examined its physical characteristics, studied its behavior, and looked for any signs of modification or tampering. The goal was to understand why the creature, despite its intimidating appearance, had not lived up to its reputation. After several hours of detailed work, Dr. Patel reported her findings to the general and his team. "The beast is indeed less dangerous than it seems. It appears to have been designed more for psychological impact than actual physical damage. Its behavior suggests it was not well trained or accustomed to combat situations. Captain Laura added, that could explain why it seemed so disoriented. The aliens might have relied too heavily on its appearance and not its actual combat effectiveness. Harris nodded. This is valuable information. If the aliens are relying on intimidation tactics, we need to focus on building our confidence and resilience. We should also prepare for more advanced weapons and strategies. With this new understanding, the team continued to refine their plans. They developed new training programs to help soldiers remain calm and focused in the face of psychological warfare. They also worked on improving their technology to detect and counteract alien weaponry more effectively. As the days passed, the humans remained vigilant, knowing that the aliens might strike again. They used their newfound knowledge to bolster their defenses and prepare for a range of possible scenarios. The initial shock of the beast's arrival had turned into a learning experience, and the humans were determined to turn their newfound insights into a strategic advantage. General Harris looked out over the city from the command center, feeling a sense of cautious optimism. The battle was far from over, but the humans had proven their ability to adapt and overcome. They were ready to face whatever the aliens might throw at them next. The incident with the beast had shown that even the most fearsome threats could be met with resilience and resourcefulness. The humans had taken a challenging situation and turned it into an opportunity for growth and preparation. With their strategies in place and their spirits high, they awaited the next move in the ongoing struggle against the alien forces, the beast's secret. The facility holding the beast was quiet, except for the soft hum of machinery and the occasional murmur of the scientists working. Inside the reinforced containment chamber, the beast lay subdued and tranquilized. Dr. Patel and her team were busy examining the creature, hoping to uncover its secrets and learn more about the aliens' plans. Dr. Patel peered through the observation window, her brow furrowed in concentration. We've gathered enough data on the beast's behavior and biology. Now we need to dig deeper to understand its origins and purpose. Her assistant, Dr. Lee, nodded. We've completed a preliminary analysis of its physiology. It's definitely not an ordinary creature. There are signs of genetic manipulation. Dr. Patel's eyes widened with interest. Genetic manipulation? That could mean the aliens altered the beast to fit their needs. Let's focus on that angle. The team began examining the beast's DNA samples under powerful microscopes. They were looking for any signs of engineering or unnatural modifications. The creature's muscles were unusually dense, and its scales had a strange, almost artificial sheen. As they worked, Private Jake and a few other soldiers stood nearby, watching the scientists at work. Jake had been curious about the beast's origin and had a hunch that there was more to it than met the eye. I still can't shake the feeling that this beast is hiding something, Jake said to his fellow soldiers. It's not just about its physical strength. There's something deeper here. One of the soldiers, Sergeant Thompson, agreed. Yeah, it's almost like it was meant to be a showpiece rather than a real weapon. There has to be a reason why it didn't live up to its fearsome reputation. The scientists continued their analysis, and soon Dr. Patel made a breakthrough. I think we found something significant. There's a pattern in the DNA that suggests the beast was engineered to be more intimidating than effective. It's like the aliens wanted to create a creature that looked powerful, but wasn't necessarily built for combat. Dr. Lee added, and the genetic modifications appear to be designed to enhance its size and appearance rather than its actual combat abilities. This confirms that the aliens might have been relying on fear tactics more than actual strength. The discovery was both enlightening and concerning. It meant that the aliens had underestimated the humans' ability to handle psychological warfare. The beast's primary purpose had been to scare rather than to fight, and it was a sign that the aliens might be using similar tactics in everyone. We've learned that the beast was engineered to be more of a psychological weapon than a physical threat, Harris said. The aliens were trying to intimidate us rather than actually challenge our defenses. This tells us that their strategy might be based on creating fear rather than facing us head-on. Captain Laura, who had been working closely with the containment teams, spoke up. If the aliens are relying on intimidation, we need to strengthen our resolve. We've already shown that we can handle their threats. Now we must be prepared for more psychological tactics and be ready to counteract them. Harris nodded in agreement. Exactly. We need to focus on maintaining our morale and ensuring that our forces remain united and resilient. The beast's capture has given us valuable insights into the aliens' methods, and we should use this knowledge to our advantage. The team began discussing strategies to bolster their defenses and improve their ability to handle psychological warfare. They worked on training programs to help soldiers deal with fear tactics and maintain their focus in challenging situations. Meanwhile, the scientists continued their research, looking for any additional information that could be useful. Dr. Patel and her team discovered more about the genetic modifications, revealing that the beast had been engineered to have a certain level of intelligence and adaptability. However, these traits had been overshadowed by its primary function as an intimidating display. As the days went by, the humans prepared for potential future threats. They used the information from the beast's analysis to develop new strategies and countermeasures. The goal was to be ready for any type of attack, whether it was based on fear or physical confrontation. The discovery of the beast's secret had given the humans a new perspective on their alien adversaries. It was clear that the aliens were using psychological tactics to try and gain an upper hand. But the humans had proven their ability to adapt and overcome. They had faced the beast, understood its true nature, and turned the knowledge into a strategic advantage. General Harris, reflecting on the recent events, felt a renewed sense of determination. The battle against the aliens was far from over, but the humans had shown that they were not easily intimidated. They had taken a challenge and turned it into an opportunity for growth and preparation. The beast's capture had revealed important insights into the aliens' tactics and strategies. With this knowledge in hand, the humans were better equipped to face future threats and continue their fight against the alien forces. The secret of the beast had become a key part of their strategy, and they were ready for whatever came next. The turning point. The city was quieter now, the calm after the storm of the beast's attack. The humans had been busy preparing for whatever might come next. The general and his team had implemented new strategies based on the beast's analysis, but no one was sure what to expect from the alien forces. General Harris sat in the command center, studying the latest intelligence reports. His face was etched with concern. Despite their preparations, there were signs that the aliens were planning something significant. The recent attacks were just the beginning, and the general knew they needed to be ready for a major escalation. Captain Laura approached, her expression serious. General, we've intercepted some communications that suggest the aliens are preparing for a large-scale operation. It looks like they might be planning something more direct and powerful than before. Harris's eyes narrowed. What kind of operation? Laura shook her head. It's hard to say for sure. The signals are encrypted, but we're working on decoding them. We suspect it could be an attempt to launch a full-scale assault or deploy more advanced weapons. The tension in the command center was palpable. The recent victory over the beast had given the humans a boost, but now they faced a new threat that could be far more dangerous. Harris knew they needed to act quickly. All right, Harris said, standing up. We need to be proactive. If the aliens are planning something big, we need to be ready. Let's increase our surveillance and strengthen our defenses. We can't afford to be caught off guard. Laura nodded and quickly relayed the orders. The soldiers and technicians sprang into action, working to bolster their defenses and improve their readiness. They reviewed their plans, updated their equipment, and prepared for a potential attack. Meanwhile, Dr. Patel and her team continued their research on the beast. They were analyzing the data they had collected, looking for any clues that might help them understand the aliens' strategy. They discovered that the beast had been part of a larger experiment, designed to test how fear could be used as a weapon. Dr. Patel presented her findings to Harris and Laura. We've found evidence that the aliens have been experimenting with different ways to manipulate fear. The beast was just one part of their strategy. It seems they are trying to find the most effective way to break our morale. Harris listened carefully. So, if their goal is to manipulate our emotions, we need to focus on maintaining our mental resilience. We've already shown we can handle physical threats. Now, we need to be prepared for psychological attacks. Laura added, We should also consider the possibility that the aliens might use more advanced technology or tactics. We need to be ready for anything. As the humans prepared for the worst, a series of alarms suddenly blared throughout the command center. The radar systems had detected multiple incoming objects. The moment of truth had arrived. Harris and Laura quickly took their positions, coordinating with their teams. The incoming objects appeared to be some kind of large-scale assault force. The aliens were not just threatening, they were launching an all-out attack. The command center's screens displayed the approaching alien fleet. Ships of various sizes and designs were converging on the city, their weapons primed and ready. The humans were faced with a daunting challenge. "Prepare for immediate defense," Harris shouted. "All units, take your positions. We need to repel this attack and protect the city." The soldiers rushed to their stations, manning their defensive positions and activating their weapon systems. The air was filled with the hum of energy shields and the clatter of weaponry being prepared for combat. As the alien ships approached, they unleashed a barrage of energy blasts and missiles. The city's defenses responded with a wall of counterfire, creating a spectacular display of light and explosions in the sky. The humans fought back with determination and skill. Their new strategies, developed in response to the beast's attack, were put to the test. They used advanced anti-aircraft weapons, energy shields, and coordinated strikes to keep the aliens at bay. General Harris and Captain Laura watched the battle unfold from the command center. The situation was intense, but the humans were holding their own. Their defenses were holding strong, and they were managing to push the alien forces back. Harris knew that this battle was a critical turning point. If they could repel this attack, it would demonstrate their ability to withstand even the most aggressive alien tactics. It would show that they were not easily intimidated, and that they could fight back effectively. As the battle raged on, the tide began to turn. The aliens, realizing that their assault was not as effective as they had hoped, started to retreat. The humans pressed their advantage, targeting the fleeing ships and forcing them to withdraw. The command center erupted in cheers as the alien fleet retreated from the city. The immediate threat had been neutralized, and the humans had proven their ability to defend against a major assault. General Harris looked around at his team, feeling a sense of pride and relief. "We did it. We've shown that we can handle whatever the aliens throw at us. This battle was a turning point, and it proves that we're capable of facing even the most formidable challenges." Captain Laura nodded in agreement. "We've turned the tide. Now we need to use this victory to strengthen our position and prepare for whatever comes next." The humans had faced a significant challenge and emerged victorious. The battle against the aliens had reached a critical juncture, and the humans had proven their resilience and strength. With their defenses intact and their spirits high, they were ready to continue their fight and face whatever the future might hold. Victory and reflection. The city was alive with celebration. The skies were clear and the air was filled with a sense of triumph as the last of the alien ships retreated into the distance. The battle had been fierce, but the humans had emerged victorious. The victory had not only defended their city, but also strengthened their resolve and unity. General Harris stood on the balcony of the command center, overlooking the bustling streets below. The once somber atmosphere had turned into a festive scene as citizens celebrated their hard-fought triumph. The general felt a deep sense of pride, knowing that their preparations and strategies had paid off. Captain Laura approached, her face illuminated by the city lights. "General, the reports are in. We've successfully repelled the alien assault, and our defenses held strong. The city is safe, and the people are celebrating." Harris turned to her with a smile. "That's excellent news, Captain. It's a testament to our preparation and the bravery of our soldiers. We've shown that we can handle even the most aggressive attacks." Laura nodded. "Indeed. We've learned a lot from this battle. The new strategies and technologies we've implemented worked well. Our team's ability to adapt and respond to the threat was key to our success." As the general and captain reviewed the aftermath of the battle, Dr. Patel and her team arrived with additional insights. "General Harris, we've completed our analysis of the battle. The alien forces were indeed more focused on overwhelming us with their numbers, rather than using highly advanced tactics. Our defenses were well prepared for their assault." Harris raised an eyebrow. So their strategy was more about brute force than sophistication? Dr. Patel nodded. Exactly. They relied on sheer numbers and power to try and break our resolve. The fact that we held firm and repelled their attack demonstrates our strength and resilience. The general was thoughtful. This victory is significant. It shows that we can withstand even the most aggressive tactics. But we must remain vigilant. The aliens will likely regroup and try again. We need to stay prepared. The celebration continued, but the general and his team remained focused on the future. They knew that this victory was just one step in a longer struggle. The aliens had shown their capability, and the humans needed to be ready for future challenges. As night fell, General Harris and Captain Laura visited a local community center where soldiers and civilians were gathered. The atmosphere was filled with relief and camaraderie as people shared their stories and celebrated their success. Harris addressed the crowd, his voice steady and reassuring. Tonight we celebrate our victory and honor the bravery of our soldiers and the resilience of our people. This battle was a test of our strength, and we have shown that we can overcome any challenge. But let us not forget that the fight is not over. We must continue to stand united and be prepared for whatever lies ahead. The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted by the general's words. The celebration was a moment of unity and pride, a chance for everyone to come together and reflect on their achievements. As the evening progressed, General Harris took a moment to reflect on the journey they had undertaken. The initial shock of the beast's attack had turned into a series of strategic challenges, and the humans had faced each one with determination and ingenuity. The recent victory had proven their ability to adapt and overcome. Captain Laura joined him, her expression thoughtful. It's been quite a journey. We've faced some tough challenges, but we've come through stronger and more united. Harris nodded. Yes, we have. This victory is a testament to our strength and our ability to work together. But it's also a reminder that we must stay vigilant. The aliens will not give up easily. Laura agreed. We'll use this victory to build on our successes and continue to prepare for the future. We've shown that we can handle their threats, but we need to remain ready for whatever comes next. The night was filled with a sense of accomplishment and reflection. The victory had brought the humans closer together and reaffirmed their resolve. They had faced a significant challenge and emerged victorious, but they knew that the struggle was far from over. As the celebration continued, General Harris and his team took pride in their achievements, but also remained focused on the path ahead. They knew that the aliens would regroup and return with new tactics. The victory was an important milestone, but the fight for their world and their future continued. With renewed determination, the humans prepared for the next phase of their struggle. They would use the lessons learned from the recent battle to strengthen their defenses, improve their strategies, and ensure that they were ready for any future threats. The city's lights shone brightly against the night sky, a symbol of hope and resilience. The humans had proven their ability to overcome adversity and protect their home. As they looked forward to the future, they did so with a sense of unity and strength, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.